Dogs, the moment you walk out the door, they don't think, I'm okay. On the contrary, they feel like this. Am I alone again? When are you coming back this time? The brief sound of the door closing, click, that single sound to a dog is not just a simple outing, but the moment their world is cut off. We, without a second thought, pick up our bags, put on our shoes, and walk out the door. I'll be back soon. It's such a familiar part of our daily routine. But for a dog, that moment is never familiar. Because dogs don't understand when you'll come back. Because they can't read a clock and don't have a concept of time. From the very moment you leave, their world turns into an endless wait with no sense of when it will end. At first they believe you'll be back soon, so they sit by the door. They keep staring in the direction you left. Their ears keep twitching, reacting to even the smallest sound. The sound of the elevator, footsteps in the hallway, doors opening and closing. Reacting to all of it, they hold on to this hope. Is it now? Is it you this time? But the door doesn't open. And after a little time passes, their emotions begin to change. Hope turns into anxiety, and their heart starts to race. Their breathing becomes a little quicker, and their body slips into a state of tension. From this point on, the dog begins to feel more and more strongly that they are all alone. So the behaviors start to show. They keep pacing in front of the door. They whimper. They start to bark softly. This isn't just noise. I'm here. I'm all alone. Please come back. That's the message they're trying to send. But even at this stage, you don't get to see it. Because we're not at home. That's why so many owners end up missing these important signs. And as more time passes, their emotions grow even deeper. Anxiety, stress, fear. At this stage, the dog's behaviors become more intense. They scratch at the door. They keep scratching, sometimes even wearing down their nails. They chew up cushions, knock over the trash, and destroy things around them. Some dogs keep barking toward the window. All of these behaviors have one thing in common. They're a sign that I can't handle this anymore. Many owners see this and say things like this. Our dog, why do they have so many behavioral problems? They always make a mess when left alone. But this is something you must remember. This isn't problem behavior. It's the result of their emotions, not the cause, but the outcome. But there's one really important point here. There's something even more concerning. It's the dogs who do nothing at all. A quiet dog, a dog that just lies there, a dog that sleeps all day. On the surface, it's easy to think like this. Our dog does just fine alone. They're so calm. It's such a relief. But in reality, it can be completely different. These dogs may have already learned how to give up. At first, they waited. At first, they felt anxious. At first, they expressed it, but nothing changed. So at some point, they learn this. There's no point in waiting. Even if I express it, nothing changes. And then they choose. Just do nothing. This isn't calmness, it's helplessness. That's why it's even more concerning. Just because they seem quiet on the outside doesn't mean they're okay. In fact, they may be pushing all their emotions deep inside. Dogs can't speak, but their emotions absolutely exist. And those emotions always show up through their behavior. Whether it shows up loudly or quietly, it means the same thing in the end. I'm struggling right now. Here's one thing we absolutely need to understand. For a dog, time spent alone is not rest time. Without proper training, that time becomes something they have to endure, not something they can relax into. Then the question needs to change. Not should I not leave my dog alone, but how can I help my dog feel okay being alone? The answer is clear. It's experience. Dogs don't understand through explanation, but through repeated experiences, they come to understand the world. That's why we need to create those experiences for them. First, start with very short separations. 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Step out for a very short time, then come back again. If you repeat this, your dog will start to feel like this. Even if I'm alone, you come back. Second, don't turn the moment you leave into a big event. Many owners, before leaving, say things like this. I'll be back soon. Wait for me. Be a good boy, girl. To us, this feels like love. But to a dying dog, it becomes a signal that makes the separation feel bigger, and that makes them even more anxious. The best approach is to leave as if it's nothing special at all. Quietly, naturally. Third, what you do when you come back is just as important. Greeting them too intensely the moment you open the door and building up excitement. Time spent alone is a really hard time, and an overwhelming reward when you reunite only reinforces that pattern. Instead, try this. Come in calmly, wait until your dog has calmed down, then gently connect with them. This way, the emotional gap between separation and reunion becomes much smaller. And over time, your dog's emotions will begin to change too. It's okay to be alone because you always come back. That's the key. Dogs love you deeply and unconditionally. That's why the time without you feels even bigger to them. Before you leave the house today, please remember just one thing. Not they'll be fine, but how might they be feeling right now? This one question can change your dog's entire day and even their whole life. In the next video, we'll talk about, do dogs think of their owners as their mom? By subscribing to and sharing this video, you can help more dogs have happier days. Please be part of it.